from Ms. Mace for her opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The love is likewise ditto. Appreciate that. It's been an honor to serve with you on this subcommittee on civil rights and civil liberties. I've learned a lot and have enjoyed the colloquy and the debate that we've had, and learning that we agree on so much. And I wish that the rest of Congress can learn from many of the lessons that we've shared here. Americans of all races, religions, creeds deserve to achieve their American dream in a secure society where they don't have to fear harm simply on account of who they are, where they live, where they come from, or what their political affiliation is, skin color, gender orientation, et cetera. We hear a lot about threats to our democracy and Constitution these days. Those threats are real. That warning is used so often to advance a political agenda that it has lost some of the impact that it should have. But let me be clear, the only alternatives to our constitutional system of government are a descent into authoritarianism, fascism, or the embrace of anarchy. Chairman Raskin, you and I agree that there are serious threats to our democratic ideals lurking on the horizon. We took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yet there are those who seek to undermine the Constitution for their own ends, and evil people who want to damage our republic and harm our citizens. And as you mentioned in your opening remarks, I have seen both sides of the coin on this, both politically. America is founded on the idea enshrined in our Declaration of Independence, and one we've ever since been struggling to achieve for all Americans, that we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our democratic ideals demand that we engage in a robust debate about how to solve the most challenging problems facing our country. This necessarily means that we're going to have disagreements and passions will flare, but part of the American experiment, as you know, Chairman Raskin, is the ability to debate these ideas and not fear the threats or attacks that may or may not come, and have often come, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. Our Constitution and the rule of law provide for an open and honest debate with people we disagree with. Our viewpoints may be met with strong criticism, but they must never be met with violence or censorship, both of which threaten this American experiment. Firstly, we must not be tempted to misuse power to silence those we disagree with or censor lawful speech. And we've seen not just the Twitter files, but we've seen a number of examples over the last couple of months where censorship has been overreaching and one-sided. I'm a firm believer in the concept that free speech creates human interactions within the marketplace of ideas and enables us to, as one witness who appeared before subcommittee in April explained, feel like we can talk to people who disagree with us fervently to learn that they are people of goodwill who often want the same good things for society, but we just have different ways of getting there. Our goals are the same, but how we approach them may be different. Secondly, we must recognize that violence as a solution to problems or as an expression of extreme and hateful ideas, whether from the far right or the far left or anywhere in between, cannot be tolerated, as it sows fear, suppresses civil discourse, and comes to a great human cost. And it's not partisan. As someone who's seen it on both sides, I've had my house trespassed on not once but twice in the last year. I've had my car keyed. I've had my family, including my children, threatened for political positions that I have taken. And as you mentioned, Chairman Raskin, in 2017, when Republicans were targeted and Steve Scalise was shot multiple times in that tragic incident, Rand Paul was attacked by his neighbor. We've had instances, we've had the FBI called to this committee and talking about Antifa attacks, anarchist attacks, something that the FBI doesn't truly track in terms of their metrics. They don't call out Antifa for what it is in their internal metrics, we learned earlier this year. My district knows this truth all too well as we continue to mourn 9 churchgoers murdered by a racist domestic terrorist at Mother Emanuel in 2015. Racially motivated violent extremists are assessed to be particularly lethal and particularly dangerous, especially as they're most likely to be and conduct lone wolf attacks. White supremacy violence is a very real threat, and so are the threats of emanating from other pernicious and racist ideologies. We must confront a spike in anti-Semitism in the United States with documented cases of targeted harassment and assaults against Jewish Americans on the rise in recent years. Anti-Semitic ideologies lead to violence against Jewish people, and I have always condemned anti-Semitism, whether it is found at a dinner party or echoed in the halls of Congress. We must also confront rising discrimination and violence against Asian Americans, as you mentioned in your video as well. We must strengthen our domestic society, ensure that we're doing everything in our power to protect the Constitution. We're not flushing it down the toilet or putting it through a shredder. Not now, not ever. The rule of law, and ensure Americans have the security they need to prosper and achieve their American dream. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.